I suppose it's a rare thing, Roy, as well, that in football, you know, either as a manager or a player, you know when the end is coming. You don't normally get to choose.
Yeah, which can be difficult. But I think if they can win the next couple of games, that'll make it a little bit easier. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a disappointing end of the season for him. But if you step back, and we have to do sometimes, look at the bigger picture, what he's done for this football club, then it is fantastic. We talk about the type of football he's played. It's been very entertaining. He's given young players a chance. They're back competing at the highest level. He's won some of the biggest prizes. He's also missed out. He's been close. So it's a proper, obviously, roller coaster for him. And he spoke about his emotions there, but I think one of his strengths is that he's an emotional guy. We see that on the sideline with him. We see him in his interviews. He's a very honest manager. He doesn't play, I don't think he plays too many games. He's not like this robot after games where he's almost just media trained. He seems a very honest manager, and I try and picture myself if I was a player back in the day. I think I'd like to play for this guy. I think that's the way I look at it. I think he's a world-class manager. He deserves a break because I think managing a big club is obviously very draining. So enjoy his break. He's been an amazing manager. I hope he does get a couple of decent results over the last few weeks. I can say that now because I know they're not going to win the league title. I might have been saying that a few weeks ago. But to leave on a bit of a high, they've won a trophy this year. They're back in the Champions League. It's not a complete kind of disaster for him in that sense. And enjoy your break, and I'm sure he'll be back at a big club next year and the year after.
It's interesting that the choice of words that he used to describe him as a manager being emotional. He's used those words himself this week, a manager that skills are about the emotion, the energy he puts into his performances on the sideline, the work he does in the training ground with the players as well, and it's delivered trophies. It's delivered every major honour for Liverpool in his time at the club. Are we going to miss him for more than this, though? Is it beyond Liverpool that it's going to be felt, Jamie, in terms of what he's brought to the Premier League, in terms of that personality, that charisma?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be funny in your own language, let alone to come and be intelligent, funny in a foreign language. The guy is just a genius. In many respects, he's added so much to the game. Like Roy says after a game, I think he calls it spot on. He's never insulted fans' intelligence. Of course, if you're not a Liverpool fan, he might have wound you up at times, but you still have the utmost respect for him because you love the way Liverpool played. There's always a high energy. They always give 100%. He treats his players extremely well, it seems. He doesn't tend to fall out with too many of them. They all want to play for them. You never hear murmurings of a player fall out. If it is, it's quashed very quickly, like Salah was.
That's why it was so rare last week, wasn't it?
But it didn't last long. He played him again, and he's although I can imagine he's a big man, he's got maybe a big ego. That's never got in the way of what's the best for the team. Now, you talk about great managers in the Premier League, he's certainly up there with them, even in the world. I mean, his record is as good as anybody's. And he faced a juggernaut in Manchester City. It's been incredibly difficult in that respect because they'd have won a lot more trophies. But he will leave as an absolute legend, not just in his club, but as a Premier League legend as well.
They play to win. They play to win Liverpool every week. We see a lot of managers, there's tactics and there's risks and pressure on these managers, of course. But every time you see him, he's out there to win games. He doesn't really park the bus. He's not that negative manager where he's thinking, we'll sit in. There's been times, of course, where they've had to do that when they're up against brilliant teams, whether it be Europe against Man City. But when he turns up, his mindset you can see, and that's reflected in the way the teams play, that high-risk football. Liverpool are there to win football matches.